The secret of comping your cards. Whether you're a collector or investor, you want to know how you get cards like these without paying too much for them. And the answer happens to be the secret of comping your cards. That's right, whether you're a collector or an investor, you need to know how much cards are actually worth. And the problem that I see throughout the hobby is that people don't know how to comp the cards the right way. So if you want to know how to know what the value of the card really is, then stay with me in today's video. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Doc and I'll be your host. This is the channel for sports cards, and life. So if you have any questions about those three things, hey, put it down below. In today's video, we're going to go over how you actually comp your cards, and there are 4 factors in terms of the secret to comping your cards. We're going to go over 4. But before I get there, if you see anything that you want to buy on this channel, not everything's for sale. I do have a PC, but I am trying to let go of stuff. I am a hoarder, so I am trying to let go of stuff. But if you see anything that you actually would like to purchase, go to my Instagram and just send me a DM and let me know and be like, hey, I saw something. Somebody in the last video actually said that they were interested in this set. Again, this is the gold edition star set for Jose Canseco. It's all the cards. It's not just one. I've seen on eBay people selling one of these cards for like 10 bucks. I'm selling the entire set for 20. So again, if you see anything on the channel that you're like, hey, I'd like that, just DM me at Instagram. All right, let's get into this video, and I'm going to a comment that one of you guys left on the video. I think it was like 2 days ago. So this is from AJ's Card Journey. He said, great video. So if you were trying to buy graded cards of the greats of the 1950s, how would you go about not overpaying? How would you find what the card is worth using the book, VCP, recent eBay sales, all of the above? Thanks. And so that's why I decided to create this video, because I wanted to go over like how you actually comp your cards the right way. And so this is the secret to comping your cards. There are 4 factors. This is the most important thing. So if you're taking notes, start writing down now. The first factor is sales history. Now, what I did in yesterday's video is I showed you how I go through comping the 86 Michael Jordan Fleer rookie card, like how you actually get to the actual value, the real value, the true value of that card. And I said in yesterday's video, now again, this is a moving target because values go up and down. So I gave a range between 140,000 to 160,000. That's right now as of October of 2025. Will it be different in 2026? Probably. But I don't know where, but I know that right now it is safe between 140 and 160,000. If you overpay, you need to be aware of that going in. So if you see a Michael Jordan at a card show and a guy's asking $175,000, you need to know, okay, I may be overpaying for that. Again, there's a pop count of 330, which means that you have to decide, do I really want this card? Now, I say that because these are all limited cards. So this one is to 15. This Mahomes Tyreek Hill dual patch card, that's to 15. So there's only 15 of them. So if you really want it, you have to pull the trigger. This is one of the Supremes, Simply Supremes for Jacob deGrom. There's only 20 of them. That means if you really want it, you have to pull the trigger. And then the last one, this one is I think it's to 99. This is an Adam Fox. It's to 99. That means if you really want it, you have to pull the trigger. And so you have to take that in consideration when you're potentially overpaying for cards. And you just need to be okay with that. As a collector, you need to be okay with that. Now, if you're an investor, if you're a flipper, if you're doing this as a business, you can't overpay for cards. Because if you think somebody else is going to overpay that much for a card, then you're going to run out of money very, very quickly. So The first factor is sales history, and this is what I mean. You have to go back into history and see where the card came from. That doesn't mean that, oh, it's overpriced now. That doesn't mean that. It just means where did it come from? And so I showed you in 2004, the Michael Jordan 86 rookie card sold for $6,000. You need to know that. And the reason you need to know that is you need to see how far the card has gone. It doesn't mean that it's not worth more in the future. I need to be clear. That's factor one. Factor two is the pop count. And the reason you need to know the pop count is, again, like I said, do you need to make a split-second decision or not? If you're looking at a 1993 Derek Jeter rookie card, you don't need to make a split-second decision. In fact, you can just look at the person and go, yeah, I'm not paying the sticker price on that. There's a few thousand of them. I'll just wait. I'll just wait. If you want to sell it, this is what it's worth, and this is what I'll give you. Now, again, if you know what the card is worth, you kind of have to say, like, it's worth this, and I'm going to give you that. Don't lowball someone. If you know what the card is worth, like, if you know that the Michael Jordan rookie card is worth $160,000, don't offer the person $140,000. Like, that's just insulting. You know it's worth $160,000, pay $160,000, and walk away. If they don't want to take that offer, that's on them. And unfortunately, a lot of dealers don't want to take offers that are reasonable, and they just sit on cards. The reason that I got this dual patch card, the only reason I got this card was because the dealer has been sitting on it, or he was sitting on it for a couple years. This is a 2019. And I got it in 2023. He had been sitting on it since 2019. He couldn't sell it. So I actually did it in a trade. I traded this, I got this, and I traded him a Bird Johnson rookie card. Yeah, the 1980 Topps Larry Bird Magic Johnson rookie card. And that was, I think it was an SGC 7, I think. So again, $1,000 for a $1,000 card. Again, at the time, this card has come down a little bit. This card is only worth about $900. But again, to me, that was worth it. I didn't pay a dime, and I got one of the cards that I'm going to hold in my PC now. This is a dual patch card that I would never pay $1,000 for, but I got to trade value for value. So that's factor two. Pop count, important because if there are less cards, you have to make split-second decisions. You have to really see, do I really want it or not? Third factor, now we get into recent sales. And that's what I showed you in yesterday's video is the Michael Jordan 2025 sales. You have to know what's going on right now with the card. And based on all of those sales, remember, we started at $6,000. That was in 2004. And we saw the run up. And in 2000, I believe it was 19, it sold for $36,000. But in 2025, it's selling for between 177, I think it was 168 was at the low end, and then 231 was at the high end. And so you have to take those recent sales into account. So is it worth $36,000? No, it's not anymore. That card is not worth $36,000. It's worth way more than that. But how much more than that? And you look at the recent sales, and that's how I got to 160 on the top end. Even though one of the most recent sales was at 231. So you're kind of looking at me going, but wait, the last sale was at 231. How could it be only worth 160? And that's because you have to take into account all of these factors. That's factor number 3, recent sales. But we also have to have sales history and pop count and go, wait a minute. It can't just go, you just can't go to the top sale and go, yeah, it's worth 230. No. That's what someone was willing to pay. Again, and I've also said this, there's two conversations. There's what the card is worth, and there's what someone will pay for it. What someone will pay for it is not necessarily what it's worth. The more that you realize that. That's it. Like if you can just separate those two things, you're going to be better off. You're going to have more fun. You're not going to lose as much money. What someone will pay for it may not necessarily mean what the card is worth. That's the thing you have to know. Now, here's the fourth piece, and this is the secret. This is literally the secret to understanding what cards are worth. All right, so you ready? Here we go. The fourth thing is comparables. And wait a minute, comparables, that means comps. And weren't we already doing comps? See, the thing that people don't understand is what comps actually mean. Comps mean you have to look at other cards that are comparable to the card that you're talking about. So if we were to look at this card, so there are other variations to this card. Oh, wait a minute. So how much are those cards selling for? Now, this is to 120 or 220. There's only 20 of them out there. Now, this is the blue. Because it's a Mets card, I like the blue. There is an orange one, and that one is lower. I think that one's maybe to 10, maybe to 5, I'm not sure. There's like 4 different variations of this card. And that's what you need to realize, is there's 4 variations to the card. So what is the lower end card selling for? And that's what you need to know. When I bought this one, and again, I purchased it. So when I bought this one, the lower end card, the orange one of them actually sold for $50,000. Yeah, I know, crazy. Now that was during the bubble. So what is this card worth then? If that one sold for $50,000. See, and this is where people get caught up and you get into FOMO and you're like, oh my God, I got to buy cards because stuff's selling all over the place. And the question becomes, well, no. What is the card actually worth? Now that card, again, that was in the bubble. That was in the boom. People were overpaying for cards left and right. So how much is the Jacob deGrom, the orange, actually worth? It's worth closer to $10,000. That's what it's worth. If you own one, you should know that. It's worth about $10,000. So what does that make this one worth? Well, there's one more variation in between this one. So this one's 220. So, slash to 20. There's one variation in the middle, which is to 15. That's where this gets undercut. So the 1 to 15 is probably worth around like half. So if the 1 to 10 is worth $10,000, that means the 1 to 15 is worth $5,000. Again, if it's the top pop count. Again, the pop count matters. And this one is the highest pop count. There is no other grade higher. This is the highest grade you can get on this one. So I know I have the best of the 1 to 20s. I have the best of the 1 to 20s, which is why I bought it. I was like, all right, I'm getting the top grade of this card, and that's why I'm going to go to it. So what is this card worth? It's worth around $2,000. Again, the 1 to 10 is worth $10,000, the 1 to 15 is worth $5,000, and this one is therefore only worth around $2,000. Now, what did I pay for it? I paid a little bit more than that. Again, I paid for in the bubble, so that's what I paid. That's what it's worth. Now, some people wanted to get like $5,000 for this card. Again, not this one because they had others, but they weren't in the top condition. And so that's what people need to understand, is you have to see the comparables. What are cards like that selling for? What are cards like that selling for? So when you look at kabooms, so because people want to know what are kabooms and downtowns and the color bursts and all of these things, what are they worth? Well, you have to look at other players and other years of those kabooms. And what are they actually selling for? And when you start to see them going for less, that's what you really need to start seeing, is When there's a price up there, and especially auctions are really good, so you can actually see where the floor is. Like it goes to a certain point and then everybody just stops. Like they stop bidding. They stop bidding. And that's what you need to know. You need to know where people is kind of like, yeah, I'm not going above that. And that gives you like, okay, that's the ceiling. But then where's the floor? Where is the real value? Because some people will pay more for the card. And that's what you got to understand is some people will pay more for the card. We'll do the dual logo man. Okay, so the MJ Kobe dual logo man. That's the card that Mr. Wonderful bought. What is that card actually worth? He paid $12.9 million for that card. Is that card worth $12.9 million? I would say, without even doing the research, I would say probably not. The reason is because there's no comps for it. There's no other dual logo man that is sold for that amount of money. Not even close. This is the most expensive card that's ever been bought, which means that Mr. Wonderful overpaid for that card. The question becomes, how much did he overpay for it? And that's what I didn't do the research, so I can't tell you how much he overpaid, but I know he overpaid for that card. That's what I can tell you without doing any research. I know it's not worth $12.9 million. I just know that. Again, why? Because there's no comps for it. There's no comps, and that's a problem. That's a problem for you if you buy it. It's a problem for Mr. Wonderful because he has to now sell the idea that that card is worth $12.9 million. And I'm telling you right now, no one is believing him. No one believes him except for people who don't know anything about cards. Nobody in the hobby is going to give him $12.9 million for that card. No one. Not if you know cards. You're going to be like, yeah, I'm not giving you $12.9 million for that card. Why? Because it's not worth that. Would you pay $12.9 million for the 9.5 SGC Mickey Mantle card? You probably would. You probably would. And I've said it's worth between 11 and 12 million. So if you paid 12.9, you're like, yeah, it's there. It's there. It's worth 11 to 12. So you're like, yeah, all right, I'll overpay $900,000. Because again, when you're in that stratosphere, there's only one of them, and you have to make a split-second decision. So you have to say, all right, I'll do it. 12.9, it's now in my PC. I own it. No one else has it. Again, the dual logo man is a one of one. So Mr. Wonderful has it. That's it. And so he overpaid because he wanted the bragging rights. That's what he paid for. He paid for bragging rights. He didn't pay the value of the card. He paid for the perception of bragging rights. And you have to understand that in your own self. Again, this comes back to, this is a channel for sports cards, and life. And here's where the life part comes in. Your ego may be your downfall. Your ego may be your downfall. Be careful with your ego. Let's go over the 4 factors again, and then we'll just end out the video. So here we go. 1 is sales history, 2 is pop count, 3 is recent sales, and the secret is the comps. The secret is the comps. You have to find other cards that are selling that are similar and find out where they are. When I was pricing out, so I've been a dealer now, I think 4 times in the last 3-4 years. I don't do dealing all that much because it's a lot of work and I just don't have the stamina anymore. And, to be able to do your own table, if it's a one-day show, and unfortunately, I don't have the kind of inventory that you could sell in a one-day show. I need a massive show. So I could only do a Dallas card show or a West Coast card show or a Culture Collision. That's why I do the Arizona State card show here in Phoenix, because it's a massive show. Thousands and thousands of people are coming to that show, and you need much more volume of people to come in for me to sell my stuff. I have more niche stuff, so I need a bigger audience in order to sell my stuff. You have to know that from a business perspective. You do a local show, something that's, let's say it's 50 tables at the show and a few hundred people come. I'm probably never going to sell anything at that show. You have to determine if you have modern stuff, you can do a local show. If you have vintage stuff, it makes sure that the people who go to those shows are buying vintage. If they're not buying vintage, you're never going to make any money. So it doesn't matter if you paid for 1 table, 2 tables, you're not going to make any money. You have to know where the buyers are. And that's the piece of this. So here we go. Last thing, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I am going to try, or at least I'm asking you, I'm going to start a Substack. The reason why is because this will be the easiest way for me to get stuff out to you for free. Substack is awesome because I don't have to worry about the email. I can just publish and you get it right to your email or on the app. Would you sign up for a free Substack if I make it? That's the last question for today's video. I want to thank everybody. I will see you tomorrow.